Our goal is to continue to provide you with updates as soon as we have them and keep you well informed. We must always start when we think about this incident that has happened by thanking our first responders, such as the Georgia State Patrol and Atlanta PD. We actually have Colonel Mark McDonough here with us from the Department of Public Safety today. Thanks to him, Chief Shields from the APD, and of course Fire Marshal Baker from the City of Atlanta Fire Department for their work in this catastrophic event. Obviously, their efforts have saved lives and made sure nobody was injured. And again, that is the top priority for us, and we are so grateful and thankful for their work. Their heroism has been quite astounding, and it's what they do each and every day. But in this incident, we're certainly very grateful and thankful. I also like to thank our partners that have been along with us the whole way, starting with our leadership from the governor. With Governor Deal's press conference yesterday, you can see the tremendous support he has, not only for the department and the other state agencies, but for support of the citizens of Georgia to do all he can to do the very best for the citizens of Georgia. We certainly have to thank Secretary Chow from the U.S. Department of Transportation of her support of Georgia as well. And that, along with the Federal Highway Administration, as well as the Georgia Regional Transportation Authority, and MARTA. And of course, our State Transportation Board, which supports us here at the Department of Transportation. Their support has been unreal, and we're certainly grateful for that, as well as the support of the citizens. The patience of the citizens traveling on the interstates and the roadways of Georgia has been unparalleled thus far. We're so grateful for people making adjustments, changing their travel patterns, changing their work if they can, teleworking, and of course taking transit options. It's been amazing thus far, and the numbers that we're seeing and hearing about is just outstanding. So thank everybody as we work forward on this incident. So our goal today again is to bring you up to speed with what we know, what to expect now, and what you can expect in the future. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate the dedications and the hard work of the employees of the Georgia Department of Transportation. They've been working around the clock since this broke on Thursday night. Let me just give you a little bit of a rundown of what our life was like on Thursday afternoon. When we got the first notice, I personally had just turned on the news and saw the fire begin. Immediately, we made contact with our bridge inspectors to say, you need to come back, you need to head to this location. And at first, we had to find what the actual location was as information was coming in. We immediately began to pull our team together to come back to our traffic management center and stand up our operations center. That immediately happened, so everybody was en route at the same time making numerous phone calls to all our partners who arrived and all met up in very short order. Our bridge design team began finding the old bridge plans, and you'll hear more about their efforts. We began communication and coordination with all our partners, starting with Federal Highway with Rodney Berry, our division administrator, who showed up at our traffic operations center and our command center to provide support and assistance. Also support from GEMA, from Director Homer Bryson, all the way down to staff, met us there on the ready to help. Because at that time, we did not fully know what the situation was we were dealing with, other than a fire and a bridge collapse. The Department of Public Safety and their team were there, ready to go. APD there, ready to go. The City of Atlanta's traffic team was there to provide support. And of course, coordination, communication, and cooperation from the Georgia Regional Transportation Authority and MARTA. And today I signed the necessary documentation that Georgia Department of Transportation will become a party to and fully participate with the NTSB investigation of this incident. Also yesterday, I spoke directly with the Commissioner of Insurance and Safety Fire, Ralph Hudgens, and State Fire Marshal Dwayne Garris. I am requesting their assistance in conducting a joint review with Georgia Department of Transportation of our storage procedures, practices, and policies, particularly regarding storage of materials in, around, and under bridges and other transportation infrastructure. We would expect that this review would be a statewide review and provide recommendations regarding best practices, procedures, policy review, and recommendations to ensure adequate storage and handling of all materials.
The bridge design team, about 15 to 20 engineers who worked throughout the weekend, developed plans for the entire bridge replacement in 3 days. They were in continuous communication with the field engineers on site who were identifying areas and issues that needed to be worked out. At interim points throughout the weekend, they provided construction staff and the contractor design plans for elements of the bridges as they were completed, reinforcing steel, cross frames, and bearings, all elements that need to be prefabricated. The final construction plans for the entire project were transmitted to the contractor midnight Sunday night. Completion of these plans in just 3 days is a huge milestone, and I'm very pleased. We have a very talented staff of structural engineers, and the progress was amazing. Our bridge engineers will continue to work with the contractor and construction crew throughout the entire project, reviewing shop drawings and responding to questions throughout. The final design incorporates the use of 24-hour accelerated curing concrete throughout the project. This is a very expensive product and is not something we typically use in all of our projects. But this will expedite the construction progress. Another effort to expedite the progress is that we will be retrofitting the existing columns. We will be cutting off the columns at about 9 feet below the original bridge caps, peeling off all of the old concrete cover material, and building new columns around the existing steel. For some of the more damaged columns, we will be digging down into the foundations and rebuilding from that level. Our engineering staff has had a lot of discussion about the viability of using a pre-engineered temporary structure to carry traffic during construction. The size and complexity of this site is very challenging and does not lend itself to a temporary structure for several reasons. At this point in the structure at Piedmont Road, the bridges are in super elevation, which I think I can most easily describe by saying that the road is banked, like a NASCAR track. In addition, the bridge bent is skewed at this point, which is another reason that a pre-engineered temporary structure would not fit well. The total span lengths to be bridged on I-85 range from 300 feet to 350 feet, another reason not conducive to the temporary structures. Lastly, the contractor needs to have the entire work site open in order to progress with the reconstruction quickly and efficiently for the permanent bridge. The use of temporary structure would delay getting this project completed as quickly as possible. So given the volume of traffic that relies on this interstate highway, we want to complete the project as soon as possible and get the road permanently open. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Director of Construction, Mark Mastronardi, to discuss the construction progress and plans moving forward.
Understanding there's a great desire to know when this will be reopened, it is our expectation that this bridge will be reopened in fewer than 10 weeks, or say June 15th. That in large part, again, is all that collaborative effort that began as early as Thursday evening and most especially over the course of the weekend. An element of this that is also of interest and of the governor's urging yesterday is to incentivize that completion. And that is, for us, is something we fairly routinely do on major items, major projects that warrant such expedited delivery. For us, that's looking back at what are the impacts to those road users. And so that analysis is currently underway. I'll share with you our approach to that will be to look at the roughly 250,000 road users a day, how they're impacted, and there's a cost and the value associated with that. And what we'll then do is turn and look at what we think is an aggressive but achievable completion date to do that work inside of that mid-June date and reward the contractor for doing so. And in addition to that, we would look for additional daily increases or daily bonuses for them to complete that work even earlier still.
Our top staff will be continuously tweaking signal timing plans to adjust to changing traffic conditions and detours. The primary focus for RTOP will continue to be the directly affected corridors within the vicinity of the I-85 closure. These routes include Piedmont, Peachtree, Cheshire Bridge, and Sidney Marcus. It is expected that these routes will continue to present traffic challenges throughout the duration of the project. We have also implemented emergency timing plans on other key arterials that have already seen changing traffic conditions, including Northside, Ponce de Leon, Memorial, Moreland, Claremont, and North Druid Hills. These emergency timing plans will be giving priority to the major traffic flow movements to help mitigate the impact of the 85 closure.